How about now? Better? I'm assuming better. Yeah, I didn't switch it. My fault. Hello everybody, welcome to the double review stream on the weekly Steelchair. Ring of Honor, TNA, we're going to dive through it tonight. I apologise, I thought I was actually back to normal sound, so that's my fault. But we are going to get through it. I hope everyone is well. Hope you're all doing good. Good to see you, Jamie. I don't want to make this a big, lengthy one. I want it to be a decent time run. Something that we can all enjoy, but it doesn't have to be rushed. But we don't have to do 2 hours. But we are going to review both. I think we could get through an hour and a half. Maybe enough. So on and so forth. It's a deliberation in my head about what I've been wanting to say. And I do have it in mind. So let's do this. So Ring of Honor reached 100 episodes. I don't want to say great for that. That's a milestone they deserve. Pushing forward with the Honor Club. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as to manage that, and it's actually very, very impressive how they've done it. So props to them. TNA first live show in 8 years for them as well. That's great. The first TV live episode in 8 years. And there's a few this year, so they're clearly committed to this. So I'm happy to see that. I'm just unsure how it will continue to be like that. I think it's not as easy to do live TV like this, but they did. We will review Ring of Honor first. Promos galore. There was a fair few. The most important thing was there was 7 matches. You had a title match, 2 women's matches, a fun tag match, and then a main event that just summed itself up in the right way. It was good. I, for one, think it was worth the manner of how they produced it, and shout out to Ring of Honor for this, but it was a better show this week than it was last week. It flowed so much better. It had more in depth. It did raise a few questions for me, but what TV show doesn't raise questions? But on last night's Ring of Honor, we got Komander versus QT Marshall for the Ring of Honor World Television title. First of all, I'm not a fan of QT Marshall, but this was in the wrong place. This was the only title match on the show, and it wasn't even the main event. I don't think that's good enough, personally. I think this should be the main event. If it's your only championship match, then put it on in the main event. Let it breathe. Let the main event breathe. We didn't get that. But we did get what was actually a very interesting match that the crowd liked. Komander gets the win. Naturally, he does get the win with his run the ropes shooting star press. QT Marshall does deliver. So in terms of pace, it's a good pace for the Honor Club, especially because this episode is 1 hour and 33 minutes. So that is impressive. At least they've stuck to a good length of frame. It's 20 minutes longer than last week. Last week was 1 hour and 11 minutes. And we get 1 hour 33 this time. I do like that. Just what is the intention with QT Marshall? Because he wants to be with the Nightmare Factory more than anything else, and he wants to be in Mexico. Is it he's not good enough to go anywhere else, or is he just good enough for Ring of Honor? Because he isn't on any other show that I remember. I only see him mainly for North America, Ring of Honor. I'm not sure, but like I said, it just raises a question for me. Maybe someone can give me that answer. Because I can't think of it. Maybe someone else can tell me. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But what do you guys think? Did you get anything from it? Any idea? No idea. The show did start though with Mark Briscoe making a congratulatory promo on the episode reaching, on the brand itself reaching 100 episodes. So that is a positive for them, which is really good. After the match with Komander and QT Marshall, we did get an appearance from Lee Johnson, signaling that he wants the championship. I actually hope that he does go on to face Komander, and I actually would put the belt on him. I think he is the right option for it, because Komander doesn't need to be on this brand. I would get him straight back. I'd get him straight back on AEW television. It's the right place for him. This just doesn't work. That's my opinion, of course, but it's just the way things are going. I don't agree with it at all, but let's see where it goes. First women's match of the night, Layla Gray versus Marty Bell. Marty Bell's a good veteran. She always delivers, but she always does the job for the young talent when asked to put them over, which she does do in this circumstance. By submission as well, she loses to the Dragon Sleeper, which is not often used as a finish these days, so I was actually rather surprised by that, and I don't often see a lot of Layla Gray, so it was nice to see her in action. And I think that's something about this match that really told me a point where they need to get a core group to build around and actually let them improve themselves, like actually be the core of your brand and develop into something that matters. But I think it's just the way that it's gone, where there's so much to showcase. You get more time here than you do anywhere else. This is where you should be getting your development started. This is where you should be getting your growth. Can we see that? We'll find out, but it's a manner of speaking and it's a manner of action, and this actually does work. So I credit them for that they've put Layla Gray in this position against someone like Marty, and they went, we want this to be done in this way, and she goes over with a submission win. I'm all for that. After this, we get a tag team action. The Outrunners versus John Cruz and Rosario Grillo. Again, another babyface win. The Outrunners win with the Total Recall. Total Recall, quite coincidence of the way of speaking. This is a total recall to how fans are these days and how the fans work. And the fans are behind them, but I don't want it to become a novelty act. So I hope that the humour and the joke maintain, but they don't become the full thing. They don't become the full package. So I'm hoping that we do see that element stand out. Will it, won't it? We'll find out. But I, for one, hope that they continue down this path, that the Outrunners can be a serious tag team that you want to believe in, but they'll still now and again have a bit of a laugh and a joke. But they really need to pull off the right manner, which is they need to start making them more serious. Last night's match was a bit of that. Apart from one or two things, it looked like it was the beginning of the sway of it. Like the tables have turned. Could that be the trajectory? We'll find out, but I want them to take them a bit more serious. I want them to be a little bit more of a serious act in the ring instead of like the joke manner, the handshake, elbow. That's novelty. We don't need that. Let's do some old-fashioned tag team stuff, like tag teams, like double suplexes and double flapjacks, and making more use of effective tags instead of the handshake, like, and then an elbow drop. I was like, if you want to just do a double elbow drop, then just do a double elbow. It seemed like it was more for this was more for the novelty than it was for the actual match itself. If you're going to make the taunt after in the whole setup, then just do the elbows, then they do the handshake. because it's a symbol of we've done this together, and now we acknowledge each other as a team, but they won't change, and that's what's going to come back to them as a novelty. This is what I said about the novelty side of it. They need to change that ever so slightly for maximum result. And then obviously the Total Recall, the running power slam, neck breaker combination move, I actually quite like. I think it's a very underrated finish, and it might lead them to tag team glory. We will find out, but we can certainly accommodate that. Beast Mortis was soon to follow out after a promo from Athena, who confirms that she will be returning soon, celebrating episode 100 on the Elner Club. Again, Athena is a phenomenal talent. Why she's not getting the big stage makes no sense. I'm not entirely sure, but I would like to see, even if it's her wanting to stay in Ring of Honor, that's fine, but now and again you can present her on AEW television. Like, she's got the ability, the star power, she's got the skill on the mic to actually deliver. So I don't know why they're not giving her that opportunity, but I would like to see that, because she was good in WWE, she's good in Japan. Like, these are important. You know, like, these little minute things can build your strong talent roster if you just tap in. If you tap into that potential and you tap into the echelons of the roster, that's something that they have to learn. If they can do that, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Make that what you will. But I'm telling you, that is what makes you a talent on your roster. Beast Mortos defeats Lord Crew via pinfall. He wins with a Destination Hellhole. This is... Annoyingly, I said last week that Beast Mortos is perfect for Ring of Honor right now, because they need a bit of a talent roster to consistently build around and grow. This was actually one of the weakest matches on the card. It's a bit of a shame, really. I don't think Lord Crew has the chemistry with the Beast Mortos. I think it doesn't seem right from a chemistry perspective in terms of selling for each other and also working a match. It looked a little too clunky. Lord Crew was trying to get his stuff in, but he was just not feeling the match, and the Beast Mortals couldn't invest his interest either, which is dangerous for a top talent. If you can't invest your interest in, then you're gone. Like, you will be moved on, and I think Lord Crew is at risk of that. Because when you look at the way he moves in this match, it's a little sloppy. And not gonna lie, I don't like that at all. Like, that actually... that puts me off. But I think that's what's massive, is about the attention to detail is vital for these talents. And I think maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on Lord Crew because I thought his match was sloppy, but his next one could be better. It might just be the type of opponent doesn't work for him. Because Beast Mortis is not being used like a big man, he's being used like a luchador. And I believe that has to change. You can't use someone of his size like a luchador. He can do the odd diving move if he wants to maintain that mixture of a light equivalent of a super heavyweight. But he needs to tweak himself around and showcase himself in a bit of a different way. Like, use more power moves. Make yourself more of a dominant threat. Like, be like Vader or Bam Bam Bigelow. Big men that love to fly. That's what he should do. That's who Beast Mortal should emulate. He does that, he'll go far. He will genuinely go far. And that's what I'm hoping for. In that way, I'm actually hoping for the growth to be where it needs to be. Otherwise, what are you going to get? I'm not sure. We can have a throwback match because Ring of Honor loves its throwback matches. This is about a 20-minute runtime on the show because he's now officially packed it in as an in-ring wrestler. Ring of Honor legend and Ring of Honor icon and pro wrestling legend Christopher Daniels has announced he will no longer compete this week. He was on display in the showcase match, well, the throwback match. It's himself and Matt Sydal tag team action, defeating Sima and Shingo Takagi in tag team action for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. I watched this match when it first happened in 2005. And I wasn't sure what to expect from Sima and Shingo because I hadn't really watched Dragon Gate. It was hard to watch it. Purely just to view it. So Shingo, this was the first time I realistically remember watching Shingo. But Daniels and Sydal I'd already seen numerous times over, so I already liked their chemistry together as a team, and they're great singles wrestlers, but Shingo especially made it very hard for Daniels and Sydal to get any momentum. Eventually they get control of the match. They do win by the Uranagi and the best moonsault ever, followed by the shooting star press that Matt Sydal would hit for the cover. This is what tag team wrestling is missing these days across the board. It's just the energy to work with your partner and your partner to work alongside you and actually hold your mistakes and protect them. There isn't much of that in this one. You know, like the mistakes are not, they're not covered as much in this one as you would see in other tag team matches. Like, there's actually very good timing, and that is what made this match special back in 2006. And if it ever happened again, that would be cool. It will never happen again though, but I for one would certainly watch it. And you can if you go on and watch this episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club, which you can watch on Watch Wrestling. You just need to skip your way through and you'll find this one 35 minutes into the show. 35 minutes in, it goes on for about 25 minutes. It was really effective timing. especially for a tag match belt to belt, plus the attention that has been given. It's great that you get to watch the entirety on the actual live episode last night. Lexi Nair interviews Layla Gray, telling her she wants more championships, she wants the Ring of Honor Women's World title, and she's challenged Champion Red Velvet. That's actually been accepted, so we will get that next week before our second women's match of the night, the Vendettas Taya Valkyrie, accompanied by Deonna Purrazzo. Versus Lady Frost, and Valkyrie does get the win here with Shania Payne. This is actually quite a good match as well. Reason being, the women were allowed time to just grow into the match instead of having it hot-headed and fast. It was developing, it was actually a very healthy match between these two, and I did like Taya's involvement, particularly instead of Deonna. I like it wasn't the typical, we're going to use two people that generally have had history with each other and we're going to go with something new. Yo, Fletch, what's happening, brother? How are you? My only thing is, though, is they didn't do anything much post-match as they did during the match. Deonna did get involved. They didn't do anything realistically at the end, so it kind of spoiled it. So it kind of spoiled the heels' attention, the heels' victory. But I, for one, really like this matchup. So if you haven't, go and check out Valkyrie versus Lady Frost. We do get a backstage segment with Jack Jackson. He encountered Griff Garrison, Cole Carter, and Preston Vance. He's pitched a faction between them called the Fraternity. I don't know about you, but I'm not so sure that actually works. What's your thoughts on that? I don't know. It was I'm not so sure, and also, why does Griff Garrison look like a B-Tech Matt Riddle? I would hate to be a B-Tech Matt Riddle. Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho was coming up, but we do get a fun tag team between the Gates of Agony, Bishop Cannon, Toa Leona versus Teriyaki and Jerry Lucas. Gates of Agony win by their double spine buster. These are serious guys. Why are they not in the AEW tag team division? Like, these guys get it. They are powerful. They are fast. They're hungry. They work well. Like, can we get some interest from them? Can we get some focus? I think it sums them up that they're not being used in such a way that actually takes away their essence. It's hampering them if they don't get back on there. Is TNA back? I liked the presentation of the show last night. I still need to watch the show myself. I actually thought last night's show was very, very good. I'll be coming on to that very shortly, but I really liked it. I thought the flow was perfect. Start to finish, it was clever. And we got some very good news from TNA as well last night. So I, for one, am all for that. I do have a question, and maybe someone can give me the answer, or maybe I figure out the answer whilst we come to it very, very soon, but we'll see. Question, non-wrestling related. Have you saw my Benfica team against Barcelona? Oh, my hearts. I saw how far ahead you were. That game was mental. Having GBL help and Hendry makes Hendry look weak. That was the question. That was the question. What is GBL's connection to Joe Hendry? Is Joe Hendry actually in cahoots with GBL? Because I don't know. I'm actually unsure what the connection is. I'm unsure what they're doing with them. Because GBL is getting involved in so many matches. They all involve Joe Hendry. It's almost like it's this guardian angel type thing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm unsure. I mean, I could see that happening. I can genuinely see that happening. As long as GBL knocks the hell out of him. Because I would. Chris Jericho, his promo was about congratulating Ring of Honor, but it did nothing to congratulate. He wanted basically the fans just to put him over. Like, it's that. I mean, it's heel work, but it's not even funny. Like, there comes a time and a place when you need to pack up, and it's time for him to be packed up. Yeah. Takeshita versus Okada, title over title, and it unifies the two together. It should happen. It's logical. Okay. I like the sound of that. I actually like that. That sounds wicked. I do see this. I'm just not sure. You know, I'm just not sure if this is going to happen, but I do see your point. I liked the live show last night. I'm about to review it. But I thought it was excellent. I thought Ring of Honor was really well. I thought Shibata versus Shane Taylor was really well done. It was just ruined. It was just ruined by the fact that Daniel Garcia was there. Like, that was it. That was the only ruin of the show. But it is good that they're doing the AEW match of that. Can someone start a hashtag or something so that AEW uses Samantha and Swerve's feud, Swerve kidnapping Samantha? I knew you were going to mention that. Probably a toilet seat. I hope Shelton Benjamin does it. Your favourite match was the women's match. Not a chance. I'll tell you what my favourite match is when we get to it. Don't worry. I won't leave you hanging so much. But for Ring of Honor, 7 matches. The only thing that really was hindered from Ring of Honor was there was not enough mic time for the younger talent. Like, the younger talent who can work well and just let them do more on the mic. I think that was... Like, it would be nice to see them actually go for those bigger young stars who can make the moment of the mic and just let them run and build it. It's really strong. It would help. Are we seeing the cracks in the legendary faction? Big Bill should turn heel and Jericho into that title. We are definitely seeing cracks, and I would absolutely do this. Brian Keith joining Bandido and Hangman, the last Outlaw faction with Jarrett as manager. The only thing is, though, is I just don't rate Brian Keith, but this would work. I would rather AEW book their bigger guys over the smaller wrestlers. It's put me off their product. But you can't have the big men every time beat the smaller guy. I agree with you. But they are quite fair when it comes to the booking here. They do book a lot of smaller talent to get beat by the bigger talent. If you actually look at it. Don't disagree with you though. Like, I would have more of the bigger talent going over. But I think it really does matter. I think it's Jeff Jarrett. I know I've said it previously. I hope it's Jay Lethal. It just seems more logical. Especially because Jay Lethal needs a chance to turn things around for himself because he just isn't appreciated enough. Tony Khan does not appreciate Jay Lethal, and I don't know why. Like, Lethal is one of the best ever. They should be using him to its fullest potential. Even though he's already experienced his potential, but like, as a heel, he hasn't done a lot of heel singles work. I would do it now. Let him have a chance. That's my opinion anyway. Let's see. They hinted MJF vs Hangman feud. Is Max about to have a real feud after 2 years of dragging SpongeBob called Jesus Christ? Yeah, they're going to go for that. Now, Catherine wants MJF to win this feud. Whereas we want Hangman to win this feud. Book it, do it, see it, say it, sort it. Overall, Ring of Honor, good show. I quite liked it. It was fun. I just want to see more diverse work on Ring of Honor. Let bit more promo segments actually in the ring than outside. It's good to see some behind the scenes, but I still want them to do it in the ring as well. Not a lot, just a little bit more. The only powerhouse wrestler to win the World Championship is Samoa Joe past his prime. That's true. But when you look at the AEW title picture, they haven't had a lot of powerhouses actually go for the title. The only one realistically was Hobbs and Wardlow. It never really got as far. But I certainly think they can do more with those talents. If they give them more opportunity, you can certainly do it. Hangman should definitely beat MJF since he's on the path to gold. Well, MJF just needs a personality. Powerhouse champs Lashley will get that eventually. Takeshita. Well, Takeshita's not really a powerhouse. Yeah, I think Shelton Benjamin's more of a powerhouse than Takeshita. But Lashley, yeah, it seems inevitable. Like, it seems inevitable for them. How and what would you do with Brody and Buddy's booking now that Malachi is gone, and will Malachi enter the Wyatt 6 vortex? I would have them on their own. I think Julia Hart, it's time for her to be solo. Brody and Buddy, I would have them on their own. Let them become tag team champions together. They're good enough. And Malachi, I don't think he's going to be part of that at all, but I don't know what he's going to do. I would have Jeff win and lose to Hangman. I've got a different idea for how I would book it, but I can see that happening. It's not a bad idea. Who should dethrone Takeshita, in your opinion? If he doesn't win the World Championship, I would say Jay White. He probably does. Not bad idea. Not bad idea. But Claudio should be taking the Ring of Honor World title, in my opinion. I think they need to start stocking in Championship Gold and just make it theirs. Raise the stakes. Otherwise, you're going nowhere. Right now, for a faction, they're not really holding much. I can see that happening as well. In 8 seconds, we're going to have a song change. Not in a while. Not in a while, no. TNA time. 1 hour, 59 minutes of action and content to review. Right. So, first of all, first TNA Live in 8 years kicks off with recap videos from Genesis. Cool, no problem. Santino Marella confirms it's a history-making show. In a way, yes. And it was a good crowd. So fair play to them. The show kicks off. from the actual inside the arena. Joe Hendry's in the ring. He confirms he's going to be a fighting champion. He talks about his route to winning the title, how successful it was at Genesis, and that he's going to be a fighting champion and he's going to work his way to be champion for the people. And he says he'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, from any company. And his first opponent is announced as Matt Cardona. Cardona back for another TNA appearance, and he will get the world title match in the main event, which is important. Like, that is important for literally everyone in general. Backstage, we get a behind the scenes video leaked from Genesis. Obviously, we all saw it on the TNA Twitter account, so they do tie into the show. The backstage video is after Josh Alexander had quit TNA, confirming that he had indeed quit. He then encounters Eric Young and Steve Macklin. But Alexander doesn't say anything to Young. But Macklin doesn't let Eric Young forget anything in general, so they really do. We do see the fact of the matter is that this is Josh Alexander ready to go. It's a shame, but it is the reality. He thanks the people, he thanks the crowd. But we all know what happens at that point. But when we get to him inside the ring, I'll come to that in a minute. First of all, first match of the TNA live event. It is Ash by Sheep, Heather by Sheep, and Rosemary, who all lost at Genesis, versus the tag team champion Spitfire, the Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich, in a winning effort thanks to interference from Cora Funbags Jade. Again, she's clearly building herself up to taking a title match, getting a title match with a view to win the championship. Again, this match was semi-decent. The only thing is I just can't take it seriously when Dana Brooke, or whatever she wants to call herself now, is in a wrestling match. I can't take her seriously because she sucks. She needs to go. I've got no interest in her. But Masha, Spitfire, Rosemary, I've got time for them. Cesaro's lost momentum. They haven't utilised him the best they should have had when a manager, and he should have won a mid-card title. But he did win the Ring of Honor title, to be fair, and he had a decent run with that. I think he's had that, but there could have been a bit. I think they could have done a bit more, but he's in a faction that understands him. I want to see more from them, though. Will we? We'll find out. I don't know. I won't hold my breath, though. I won't hold my breath. Before the match ends, Cora Jade hands an envelope to Masha with a picture on her. She's crossed out, indicating that she's coming for her, which is fun. Josh Alexander then announced he quits TNA, as I've mentioned. He gets attacked by his stablemates, the Armory, because they've turned on it, because he's quit on them, in their words. And then Eric Young saves him. Tag match announced for next week. The Hardys up next versus Moose and Johnny Dangle Curtis, this actually was a decent match. Again, the Hardys do win. They go over the heels. There wasn't anything else after this one. It was just a good tag match. But I want to see more from this. Again, I don't know what's next for the Hardys, but I'm hoping it's a heel storyline that goes on for a while, like heels working with them, and it becomes their thing where they've got to try and beat everyone in the right way. We then get the flash and flickering lights of the number 23. Sami Callihan comes out, followed by Steph DeLander, who's holding the digital media title that she's took from PCO. And then she hands the title to Mance Warner. I haven't seen a lot of him, so I don't know. They are together, but I don't know much about him, so I'm eager to see how that goes. But he attacks Callihan with the championship. It was very bizarre. And I didn't like the fact that they did an Edge Lita type thing with themselves as an announcement, but it's what is. Best match of the night, though. Fraxiom versus the Rascalz. Interference from Wesley as well, but this match is fucking fast. Fast-paced, high-octane moves. Genuinely, this match ruled, and I barely see Fraxiom compete, and not gonna lie, I've became a fan of them. Like, I really like the fact that Fraxiom kept using frequent tags. I like the fact that they kept working together quickly. The super kicks use is a little bit overdone for me. But I really was a bit shocked by how fast they made them work together. It was really well done. And the way that Nathan Fraser runs the ropes is mental. He runs it like Braun Breaker, like speed, drop kick. It's well done. And the fans love this match as well. They were all in for this one. Like the fans didn't stop, back and forth. Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe are there with Wesley. Wesley distracts the referee. Those two destroy the Rascalz. And then Axiom hits a Spanish fly from the top rope on Trey Miguel, and then Fraser hits the Phoenix Splash for the win. Mike Santana comes out again after his match. I like the fact that he's boasting he's now the new standard of TNA. He's confirming himself as the guy. And before he got out of there, he was interrupted by a returning Mustafa Ali, who is now signed with TNA. What a great move for them. That is what they need. Someone like him is fantastic. That is a great move. He doesn't even make a notion or a word to Santana as well, so we're going to be building to Santana versus Ali as well, likely to be the next number one contender potentially for the World Championship. So I did like this. Tessa Blanchard is up next. She was booed heavy, but she didn't let the crowd phase her. She kept going. Good heel promo talking about her family's legacy in San Antonio. She belittled them for losing Alamo, saying that she was seen as greater than many other top talents from Texas. It was very fitting. But then she says one crucial word is time to step up or shut up. And she's not wrong. it was well done in that way, but it's hard to really enjoy her because of who she is. That's something I'm skeptical about. It's something I'm skeptical about, though. If somehow TNA could get Ricky Starks and Britt Baker, that'd be wild. I'd rather two different people. Buddy and Brody are facing Gaze Wagner Collision, Undisputed Kingdom facing Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Ange, Mariah, and Tony face up. Wonder if we see glimpses of Timeless Tony Storm, Takeshita versus Shibata. We probably will. But he's lost in the shuffle. I would not have had him join Blackpool Combat Club. I would have had him win on the main event roster, the TNT title with a manager. I suppose, but if you think about it, he's more tied to the Blackpool Combat Club than anything else. So it makes sense. It was a great promo. The problem is it's just the individual is a wanker. Main event, including commercials, got about 18 minutes. And it was probably one of Joe Hendry's best matches. It's actually worked really well. But what was interesting was, because you can watch, if you watch on the TNA Plus app, you can actually see the back. You can actually see the commercial breaks and what's going on during the commercial breaks. You can actually see during the commercial breaks, Matt Cardona's got a promo on Joe Hendry before the bell kicks off. No idea what was said though, but it was well done. Kazarian on commentary is brilliant. Saying if he sees GBL again, he might just have to knock him out. Well, we know what really didn't happen. This match goes back and forth again. Cardona's using heelish tactics. He uses like a ripped off shirt around Hendry's neck. We get a low blow. We get two of the reboots. And it generally is not a slow match between them. It's actually quite a fast match for pace. Missile dropkick and a DDT as well. Cardona complaining again, that's how it should be. It was just funny that Kazarian kept saying that because when the referee goes down, now's a good time for Hendry to get the brass knuckles. We then eventually get to GBL coming out after the referee gets knocked down, the low blow. The low blow hits, and then he looks at the title, sees the title, goes for it. GBL comes out, clothesline from hell, but he gets back in too quickly. It's a little bit of a letdown. He gets back in the ring too quickly from a clothesline from hell. So that's a negative on TNA for that bit. But then Joe Hendry gets the standing ovation for the win, retains his title. Confirmed for next week, Nick Nemeth will talk, citing his future. Eric Young and Josh Alexander versus Williams and Icarus North. The Northern Armory. Mustafa Ali's got a mystery opponent. And Wesley versus Ace Austin all next week on TNA. They were all taped last night, as far as I'm aware. Again, good show. Two of the best shows I've watched all week, actually. I've actually really enjoyed these two. It's been a good week so far for wrestling. But I want to see more. I want to see more risk from them. I want to see more risk from these promotions, but I certainly like the angle that they went and they took it that way, and it was really well done. So I think they want fighting champion, but I think Joe Hendry also needs to be wary that he also shouldn't be at every single show. But he should be, like, not that he doesn't have to be there every single week, but when he is there, he has to make his moments count. So he shouldn't just be a fight champion every single week. He needs to be looking for an opponent. whoever that may be. It could well be Mustafa Ali, it could be Santana, Kazarian. Moose might exercise option C. I think they're going to make those efforts count for their main roster. And Hammerstone is due to come back as well, so he's also in the count. No. Ring of Honor. Can we get the World Championship changed hands, please? Change the TV title from Komander or Lee Johnson. And let's run it with that. That's something I want to say in general, but what did you guys think of both shows in general? Could you see NXT titles being put on TNA talent? I'm not sure. I think when you look at the tag team match, the Rascalz outperformed Nathan Fraser and Axiom. I think this episode of TNA, this live event, was actually better than Raw. I think it was better than Raw. If you're meant to be in a working 50-50 partnership, you have to put those titles on them. You've got to actually show you mean it. But I don't want to see the AEW World Title or the NXT World Title on opposition talents. The opposition brand's top talent. I don't want that to happen. That's my only thing, is please don't do that. And please, God forbid, can we get more signings in for the knockouts and start feeding them out, the ones that shouldn't be there. Let's start weeding talent out. Kazarian, Mustafa Ali, all re-signed. Wonderful. But let's re-establish. It's still booked well, but let's re-establish a roster that we can get behind. What else was I going to say? Oh yes, to all the people out there experiencing horrific weather across the UK, I hope that you're all right. Obviously, I do need to get out here because, like I said, I was only able to do an hour. So I'm not here tomorrow, but I am on Sunday. Catherine, I hope you're around. I didn't expect that to happen. It makes sense though. Going for the sneak attack worked. It was really well done. They are the future of TNA. You really need to buy into them. Nice. I'll link him. I'll message Matthew as well. Those in general, thank you for watching. I am going to get out here though, but I will see you on Sunday. Check out Catherine's podcast, Mid Podcast. Check out Graph TV and Colville TV. I'll see you triple review on Sunday. Bye, guys.